Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Temple Rodeph Torah. It's good to see you all here on this bright summer day. So first thing I'm going to ask, please, is would you take out your cell phones and do not turn them off? I mean it. Could you take out your cell phones and do not turn them off? And as soon as you have them out, please think of someone you love who is not with you today. If they are Jewish, send them a text message saying, Shabbat Shalom, thinking of you. If they are not Jewish, send them a text message saying, thinking of you, hope you have a great day. Don't send it to someone else in the room. It's been done. It's not that funny. With all the hassles that those electronic devices bring, it is also good for us to use them to keep in touch with people we love who may not be in the same place. So once you've done that, then you can put your phone on silent before they write back going, huh? But nice to start out by thinking of others and reaching out to others. Hi. It's okay. I have a rule about kids being here, which is that if they act like kids, that's their job. If adults act like children, I'm less happy about it. But if kids act like kids, that's their job, okay? So you kids, try to be part of this. If you have questions, I love people who ask questions. You can ask me any questions afterwards, okay? All four of you. You were great last night. And so if you have questions about what goes on, come talk to me afterwards and tell me what your question is. Okay? Cool. Shabbat is a time of gratitude. Shabbat is a time when we stop worrying about what we don't have, what we're supposed to have, what the advertisements tell us we won't be happy unless we get. And instead, we stop and we take account of what we do have. We count the blessings we have in our lives. It's actually Jewish tradition to wake up on Shabbat morning and count our blessings. So before we turn to prayers that were written by other people, we're going to start right here in this room and get a list of blessings. So I'm going to ask you to share blessings that you have in your life today, right now. Not something you're going to do, going to have, whatever, but blessings you have in your life. And bragging is completely allowed in this part of the service. And we don't go on with the service till we have a nice list, so you might as well contribute. So who wants to start? Who has blessings in their life? You have children. So I'm going to expand that to family. You have loving family. So I'm going to teach you 3 Hebrew words. Modim anachnu lach. Could you try that? Modim anachnu lach, which means we thank you, God. So if you are blessed with loving family, please join with me. Modim anachnu lach. Thank you. Others? We'll get to the guy who's over there. Yeah. They've been here before. They're more comfortable. And I'm serious, we don't go on with the service till we have it. So you might see it as a public service to contribute ideas. So, yes. Your health. Absolutely. And, you know, my grandmother used to say it years ago, and it was like, yeah, Grandma. I think after a while, if there's ever a time when you didn't have it, suddenly you realize the blessing of it. So if you are blessed with health, join with me. Modim anachnu lach. Good. Others? If you have gainful employment, even that you love, that's even nice. But, you know, a job, not everybody does. If you are blessed with gainful work, please join with me. Modim anachnu lach. Thank you. Others? Really? When is that happening? So again, I'll expand that and say, if you have the ability to share in celebrations with your family, that is a blessing. And so all those of you who are enjoying a celebration, join with me. Modim anachnu lach. Good. Others? Yes? A safe home. And you know, I think many of us take that way too much for granted. If we think over the course of the world, how many people can't even imagine having a home and then a safe home? We are so blessed by that very basic thing. So if you live in a place where you feel at home and feel safe, join with me. Modim anachnu lach. Good, let's keep going. Guys, yes sir. Food. And these are guys who've been here before, and yes, I would assume that the biggest problem everyone in this room has concerning food is deciding what to eat and perhaps how much to eat. And yet, over a third of the world's population is food insecure. They do not know where their next meal will come from. And so something as absolutely basic as knowing that we have food for our next meal is a blessing that so much of humanity does not know. And so if you are blessed with food security, join with me. Modim anachnu la. Thank you. Yes, sir? Life. Life. That's a good one. Anyone here blessed with life? Being alive is, with all its tsuris and everything else, quite a blessing. If you feel blessed to be alive, join with me. Modim anachnu la. So I will add one more, and that is the blessing of living in this country. And I know this country is going through some rough times, and there are things that are driving me crazy, and I assume most everybody else. And yet, we've all chosen to stay here. Must be something good here. When we think about the blessings we have living in the United States of America, I think it's important we put down Facebook every once in a while and just think of how blessed we are to be here. If you feel blessed to live in this country, join with me. Modim anachnu la. So this is what we Jews do on Shabbat morning. We list our blessings. Because all week long we're told that if we don't buy this product, we will not be happy. That if we don't do this, we will not be successful. And yet those advertisements are all completely and totally wrong. Because if you and I did not get one more thing than we have right now, we would still be more blessed than 95% of the people on this planet. And every once in a while, we need that reminder. And that's what Shabbat does. It comes along to remind us of how blessed we are. So as we go through the prayers written by other people, I hope that you will keep in mind the blessings that you have in your life. Because when you really make this list, it makes it very easy to say thank you. So we turn to page 288 at the bottom of the page as we thank God for the most basic blessing of all, as David said before, the gift of life. We woke up this morning, we are alive, we have been given another day to be alive. The words to Modeh Ani are at the bottom of the page. Men say Modeh Ani, women say Moda Ani, and both of them mean, I thank you.
We start with the melody as a nigun, a melody without words. It goes like this. Try it with me.
Modeh lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam. Modeh lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam. Modeh ani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam. Modeh ani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam.
שחזרת בי נשמתי בחמלה, שחזרת בי נשמתי בחמלה, שחזרת בי נשמתי בחמלה, רבה אמונתך,
Now I know that many of us came here this morning to celebrate with Josh. But before we start, you need to understand that he came here to celebrate with you. Because he is not trained to perform a service for us. He has been studying for years to lead a holy congregation in prayer. And so in order for him to succeed at this holy task, we need to become the congregation this morning, which means we need to be part of the service. So as you look at the prayer book you've been given, everything in it is in Hebrew, transliteration, and English. Our ushers are around here somewhere. Where are our ushers? Are they still outside? They're in here. Good. If you don't have a prayer book, please raise your hand, and we will get you one. Everyone have one? We're good? Oh, okay. So everyone has one. Please, as we read through the service, if there's Hebrew, read the Hebrew or the transliteration. If it's English, read the English. And when we sing, please sing along. As I said, I know that many of you came here to hear Josh, but he came here to hear you. And I will tell you that if you're all silent, it's pretty terrifying to be up here. First of all, we wonder if you're still breathing. Second, it sounds like you're speaking into a big, empty room. But when we fill this room with prayer and song and celebration, it makes a joyful sound. And that is our goal this morning. So please, if anyone next to you is just sitting quietly, nudge them gently and go, come on, read along. It makes a very, very nice sound. If anyone is having difficulty hearing me, please speak to one of our ushers and request one of our hearing assist devices. We'll be happy to loan it to you. It's very, very hard to participate fully if you can't hear clearly. So just ask the usher and we'll provide it for you during the service. So as we go through this service, please think of your blessings. Think of the good in your life. And think of how we might say thank you to God for all of this. We turn to page 293 as we join in Nisim B'chol Yom, blessings for all the miracles that surround us every single day.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lechsech bibina, lavchin ben yom uben laila.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who opens the eyes of the blind. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who lifts up the fallen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, roka haaretz al hamayim. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who strengthens our steps. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Malbish Arumim. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who gives strength to the weary. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Hama'avir sheina me'enai, Utnuma me'apapai. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who made me in the image of God. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Shasani ben-chorim. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who has made me a Jew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Ozer Yisrael b'gvura. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who crowns Israel with splendor. Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to engage with words of Torah.
We continue on page 312.
312. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, ve'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם עלל מהמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ואמרו amen. We rise if we are able for a call to worship, page 313. Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Yotzor or uvorei hoshech Oseh shalom uvorei et hakol Hameir la'aretz v'ladavim alecha b'rachamim uvturo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh bereshit ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai kulam b'chochma asita mal'a ha'aretz kinyanecha titbarach Adonai Eloheinu al shavach ma'aseh yadecha ve'al me'orei or she'asita yifa'arucha selech or chadash al Sion ta'ir v'nizkeh kulanu me'era le'oro Baruch atah Adonai yoser ha'me'orot. Please continue on page 317. O God, inspiration and guide for all, you have spoken in 1,000 tongues for us to hear, in every land and every age. Your children have heard you and imagined you in separate ways. And yet, O God, you are one, unifier of humanity. We give thanks for the sages and teachers who bring us the understanding of your will. Gratefully we recall the lawgivers and prophets, the psalmists and sages of Israel, and joyfully we remember that from the dawn of Israel's life, we would turn to you and find purpose. May the teachings of our ancestors live on in our minds, and their passion for righteousness stir our hearts. Help us to live so that our daily conduct reveals the beauty and wisdom of your truth. Baruch atah Adonai, havocher be'amo Yisrael be'ahava. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Please be seated. Love Adonai, your God, with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all the my mitzvot so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God. We continue on page 321. Sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect. The song of God's miracles on an earth protected and cherished. A gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content. Her soldiers home to leave no more. The
song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. Rock of Israel, rise in support of Israel, and redeem Judah and Israel as you promised. Our Redeemer, Adonai Tizrael, is your name. Blessed are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, B'chol Yisrael. Please rise if you are able. Adonai, Sifti, Ufi, Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Source of all being, we turn to you as did our people in ancient days. They beheld you in the heavens, they felt you in their hearts, they sought you in their lives, their quest is ours. Help us to see the wonder of being. Give us the courage to search for truth. Give us the path to a better life. So shall we, by our lives and our labors, bring nearer the world we envision. One of justice, freedom, and peace. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avorach Shamat. You are the open door that beckons me in, peeking around the doorframe. I begin to enter into your glory. You move me forward, O eternal, to step beyond self-made boundaries. Lift my foot over the threshold that I might abide you with, in the house of the eternal.
I found my questions waiting to be posed. They filled me with wonder. Sit with me, eternal teacher. Encourage my seeking. As I fill mine hours with your mitzvot, so shall I be filled. Send me through your door, stretching up to honor your name, sharing out this wonder, enriching myself in the giving. Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Baruch atah Adonai, Machaneh Hakol. Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וכרז אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו. Adir, Adirenu, Adonai, Adonenu, Madir Shimcha bechol haaretz, Baruch kevod Adonai, Mimkomo, Echad hu Eloheinu, hu Avinu, hu Malkeinu, hu Moshienu, vehu Yashmienu, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהייך ציון, לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. You may be seated. We will continue in the middle of 328.
Vishamru is about rejoicing and coming together with friends and family on Shabbat. It is a reminder to observe Shabbat for the rest of time. This is my favorite prayer because it never fails to awaken the congregation. After a Shabbat service, I find myself humming the catchy tune that most people know. So let's all come together on this fine morning and sing Vishamru together.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
The meaning of Shabbat is to celebrate time rather than space. 6 days a week, we live under the tyranny of things of space. On Shabbat, we try to become attuned to holiness in time. It is a day on which we are called upon to share in what is eternal in time. To turn from the results of creation, mystery of creation, from the world of creation to the creation of the world. Baruch atah Adonai, Makadesh HaShabbat. On the Shabbat day, as you graciously receive our prayers, help us to hear your call. Grant us enough health to fulfill our duties, and the compassion we need to attend to others. Teach us humility that we may perceive our own faults, and grant us the wisdom to be forgiving of others. Give us the courage to be true to our highest selves, and the charity to see the best in around those now. Give us the strength not to become discouraged, hope enough to overcome all fears for the future, and faith enough to know your presence. O source of blessing, look with favor upon us. May our offerings be acceptable to you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Continue in the middle of page 332.
Invite up the readers.
For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations. Modim anachnu lach. for this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons, Modim Anach Nulach. For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements, Modim Anach Nulach. For human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression, Modim Anach Nulach. For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared, Modim Anach Nulach. For all who labored and suffered for a fairer world, for who lived so that others may live in dignity and freedom, Modim Anach Nulach. For human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose, Modim Anach Nulach. We pray that we may live not by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulcha na'eh lahadu.
O God, may we never become complacent, faltering in our efforts to build a world of peace. Let the nations know and understand that justice and rights are better than domination and conquest. May all come to see that it is not by might nor by power, but by your Spirit that life prevails. Raised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people, Israel, with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, havorech et hamo Israel, Shalom. Please pray silently through page 337.
Ose shalom bimrama, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Our rabbis taught the world stands on three things: on study, on prayer, and on deeds of loving kindness. Al Shlosha Divarim Ha'olam Omed. The words to Al Shlosha Divarim are on page 367, the second paragraph down from the top. And to join with Josh, we invite his friends, Justin Lesser-Tosa, Luke Peterson, David Cohen, Zachary Barron, and Dylan Kessler. We continue now on page 362 as we begin Seder Kriyat Torah, and we call Emily Kirschenbaum and Ralph Wolf to come forward to open the ark. Which one of you is older? She is. She is. You two both stand right here, face out toward us. When we come over here, you're going to open the ark. When we take out the Torah, you close it. And we're all going to walk around, but you two will stay right up here and we'll come back. Okay? Okay? Right here, just a smile. Good smile. Go. Page 362.
אין כמוך באלוהים
אדוני ואין כמעשיך מלכותך מלכות כל העולמים וממשלתך בכל דור ודור אדוני מלך אדוני מלך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד אדוני עוז עמו ייתן אדוני יברך את עמו ושלום. Please rise if you are able.
הרחמים היטיבה ברצונך את ציון תבנה חומות ירושלים כי בך לבד בטחנו מלך העולם ונישא אדון עולמים 364 כי מציון
תצא תורה כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר אדוני מירושלים ברוך שנתן תורה תורה ברוך שנתן תורה תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד אלוהינו גדול אדוננו קדוש שמו
גדול אדוני איתי ונרום במה שמו יחדיו לך אדוני הגדולה והגיבורה והתפארת והנצח וההוד יבוא שמיים ובארץ יבוא שמיים ובארץ לך אדוני המלך
We invite the following people to come forward. For Aliyot, Carol Kirschenbaum, Sheldon Kirschenbaum, Dara and Damon. To undress the Torah, Kimberly Labar. To dress the Torah, Drew. And to hold the Torah, Frank Perry. So Kimberly is... Oh, Kimberly, we need you first. Can you take off the 2 crowns, please? Just pull them right off. Be aggressive. No, not by the little points. Gorgeous, please. Grab the things. There you go. Super. Stand them right there on that brown table. Thank you. Now, take the silver pointer that's in front. Pull that off. You're going to have to pull it out there a little bit and hand that right to this gentleman here. And would you take the whole cover off from the top? Just grab it near the top and just pull. Perfect. And when you put that on the chair that Josh was sitting on before.
That one over there.
Thank you. Please be seated. Oh, really? No, I don't have it here. It's not. And 1 second. We're looking for the Torah blessing. Well, we can use another book. Okay.
I don't have the easy to read one.
It's not under that there? Okay.
Sometimes spring cleaning goes awry.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. So for the blessing, Torah blessing is here. This week we are, as you can see, at the very end of the Torah. Wednesday begins Rosh Hashanah, followed by Yom Kippur and Sukkot, and then Simchat Torah, when we formally complete the cycle of reading the Torah and go back and start over. So we are reading now from the very end of Devarim, the end of Deuteronomy, Moses' basically final words to the people before they go on to the Promised Land. And he starts with an absolutely mystical statement. He says, you're all standing here today, including those of you who aren't here. Huh? You're all here. So apparently he claimed perfect attendance for the Israelites. But in that perfect attendance, it was not simply all the people who weren't there at that moment. He said that all the people who ever would be stood at Sinai. And so every Jew in every generation is commanded to feel that we have ourselves stood at Sinai. And every time we take out Torah and every time we hear these words, we are to picture ourselves standing there with the mountain shaking and smoking and lightning and thunder and the whole Hollywood thing going on all around us to help us understand what this means. And so it is fitting that with this portion we call Josh to the Torah for the first time as a bar mitzvah. For it is his challenge, not simply today, but in the years ahead, to listen for the word of God, to imagine, to picture that a part of him was standing at Sinai, and to find that excitement and that challenge once again.
Yamdu, Kelebat Michael Velea, Vishlomo Eliyahu ben Moshe Yaakov, Le'aliyah Rishon.
Carolyn Sheldon. Wait till you show him where he's starting. On the right side.
Either here or here, whichever one's fine.
Baruch et Adonai HaMavarach,
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach L'olam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, asher bachar banu b'kol ha'azbim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Vaitzav, Moshe, Atam, Lamor, Miketz, Shiva, Shanim, Emoed, Shanat, Hashmitah, Vahag, Hasukot, Biva, Kol Yisrael, Leroot, Et Pene, Adonai, Elocha, Bemakom, Asher, Yivhar, Tikra, Et HaTorah, Hazot, Neged, Kol Yisrael, Bezanehem, Hakol, Et Haom, Hanashim, Venashim, Venatav, Vigirach, Asher, Bishrach, Laman, Yishmu, Ulman, Ilmadu, Aru, Et Adonai, Elohim, Vishmeru, Laasot, Et Kol, Divhar, HaTorah, Hazot.
Please do the blessing after.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'torheinu, Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yeshua.
Tamod Dobayit Kabat Shlomo Eliyahu Vekelo Le'aliyah Sheni.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Uvnim, Asher, Lo, Yidu, Yishmu, Ulamdu, Laro, Et Adonai, Elohim, Kol, Hamim, Asher, Atam, Hayim, All, Hadim, Asher, Atam, Uvrim, Et, Hayaradain, Shema, Laroshta, Vayamer Adonai El Moshe Hain Krovu Yimcha Lamot Korah Et Yehoshua Yitzfu Bechel Moed Vitzfu Ve'elech Moshe Behoshua Vitzfu Bechel Moed Barach Adonai Bechel Bamod Anan Vanid Amod Hanan al Fatah Chayil.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Natan Lanu Torat Emet V'chayei Olam Nata B'tochenu Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Stay here, please. Don't go.
Yamod Yaakov Michael ben Dobayitka Habachur bar hamitzvah Chazak Chazak v'nitchazek.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bahar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Vayamer Adonai El Moshe Hina Shechem Im Avotecha V'kom Ha'am Hazeh Hazeh Veznim Asher Ulacher Haaretz Asher Havin Shema Bakrov Veyamod Vechafar Et Barat Asher Karat Atah Hara Fa Vu Bayam Havu.
That's it, right? Can we do it further? You doing more?
No. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Natan Lanu Torah Emet V'hayei Olam Tzafa V'toheinu Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Siman Tov
Mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov, siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov, siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov. Yehelanu, 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 olakol Yisrael. Yehelanu, yehelanu, Yisrael. Yehelanu, yehelanu, ulechol Yisrael. Yehelanu, yehelanu, ulechol Yisrael.
And Moses instructed them as follows. Every 7th year, the year set for remission, at the Feast of Booths, when all Israel comes to appear before the Eternal, your God, in the place that God will choose. You shall read this teaching aloud in the presence of all Israel. Gather the people, men, women, children, and the strangers in your community, that they may hear and so learn to revere the Eternal your God, and to observe faithfully every word of this teaching. Their children too, who have not had the experience, shall hear and learn to revere the Eternal your God, as long as they live in the land that you are about to cross the Jordan to possess. The Eternal One said to Moses, "The time is drawing near for you to die. Call Joshua and present yourself in the tent of meeting, that I may instruct him." Moses and Joshua went and presented themselves in the tent of meeting. The Eternal appeared in the tent in a pillar of cloud. The pillar of cloud having come to rest at the entrance of the tent.
David and Dara, mazel tov to you. Mazel tov on today, and mazel tov on all the years that led up to being here today. You have been part of our community for 5 years, and we've watched you boys grow over that time, and you come to this very, very special celebration, and we join in celebrating with you. For both of you, I hope you consider the words of the Torah portion that Josh just read, because the two of you together have made this Torah portion come true. We were instructed to make sure that our children hear these words. And Damon, your decision together with Dara that you would raise Jewish children is a gift that you have given to our entire people and to our future. And I want you to know how deeply grateful we are to you for this decision that you've made, because you've allowed your boys to hear these words. You've allowed them to hear these ancient words and figure how they come into their own lives and how they fit in their own lives. Not always without struggle, but this gift is a gift that you give to the future of the world. And so today, as you celebrate this special occurrence, I hope you think about the future, about what your investment has been, the investment you'll continue to make in both of your sons toward a world that might be, please God, more peaceful, more whole, and more complete under the watch of God. And so today we celebrate with you, we thank you, and we invite you to speak to your first bar mitzvah.
Just going to run down and get it. All right. Joshua, congratulations, Mazel Tov, you did it. Your father and I couldn't be more proud of you, even more proud than when you get a home run. I cannot believe you are 13 already. It seems like just yesterday you came into this world at an even 6 pounds. And I've been worrying about you ever since your first night when you were whisked away to the NICU after you had to be resuscitated. When we took you home, you were hooked up to a heart rate monitor for 8 weeks, just in case. There were little wires coming out of your onesie that were attached to a machine that I had to schlep everywhere. Look at you now, a handsome, healthy young man who just became a bar mitzvah. When your father and I were dating, we discussed that it was important that I raise my kids Jewish. They go to Hebrew school and become a bar mitzvah. He said fine, as long as they are Met fans. So here we are. As long as they're Met fans. Over the past couple of years, we have discussed faith and what you believe in. I want you to know that it is okay that if you don't believe everything written in the Torah. In your Torah portion, Moses lived to be 120 years old. I get it, it's not likely what happened. What I want for you is to be proud of being a Jew and never hide it. You are so lucky to grow up in an area where you aren't considered different. But it won't always be like that. As you will mention in your sermon, there is no such thing as a Jewish race, but there are people that feel differently. There's so much going on right now in the world. It is so important to stay strong and be proud of your Jewish heritage. Growing up, you always thought outside the box and asked thought-provoking questions that made me wonder if there was an adult trapped inside of you. I thought you were either possessed or a genius.
As the years went on, you liked to play devil's advocate and argue the other side for just about anything. I'm sure the rabbi got to experience this in class last year. This became extra annoying during the last election when all of a sudden you decided you were a Republican and a Trump supporter. You started giving us your opinion on various topics, spouting out random statistics that you probably got from memes. I'm still not sure if you believe in all of this or you just want to argue with us. Either way, I want you to find a way to use this for good. Maybe become a trial lawyer so you can get paid to convince someone whether something is true or isn't true. I also want you to know that it is truly great to have lots of friends, but it is greater to have a few true friends. We love you so much and hope you are proud of yourself. I want you to relax now because the hardest part is over. Try to have some fun on this gorgeous, blessed day with your friends and family that came here from various parts of New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New York, and New Hampshire to support you. We love you and Mazel Tov.
Please rise if you're able.
Torah asher sam Moshe
Lifnei b'nei Yisrael, pi Adonai v'yad Moshe. And this is the Torah which Moses placed before the people of Israel as God commanded. Please be seated. The Haftarah is a selection from the prophetic writings, which the rabbis of ancient times chose to complement each week's Torah portion. In general, the Haftarah is a commentary on the Torah portion and the original sermon, but at this time of year, in the weeks leading up to the new year, to Rosh Hashanah, the Haftarah takes on a very different focus. During these weeks leading up to the new year, at a time when we Jews are commanded to think about returning to God, returning to the correct path, trying to make amends for the things we've done wrong, and more importantly, trying to set a new path for the future. The Haftarot come along all from the book of Isaiah and are called Nechamot, consolations. Because if we evaluate ourselves clearly, we realize how far we've fallen short of what we want for ourselves, and we wonder whether God is even interested in taking us back. And in each of these consolations, Isaiah reflects God's words, saying, yes, I want you to come back. In this portion, Isaiah calls to everybody, let them return to God who is quick to forgive. And so as we approach the new year and think about whether our loving God wants us to return, we are reminded by this Haftarah that indeed God is waiting for us to return.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who has chosen faithful prophets to speak words of truth. Praise to you, Adonai, for the revelation of Torah, for your servant Moses, for your people Israel, and for prophets of truth and righteousness. Seek the eternal while there is still time. Call out while God is near. Let the wicked forsake their ways, and the sinful their thoughts. Let them return to the Eternal, who will show them compassion, to our God, who is quick to forgive. For my thoughts are not like yours, nor are yours ways like mine, says the Eternal One. For high as the heavens above the earth, so are my ways high above your ways, and my thoughts above your thoughts, just as rain and snow come down from the sky without returning. But water the earth, making it blossom and bear fruit, yielding seed for sowing and bread to eat. So it is with the word that comes from my mouth. It does not return to me unfulfilled, without having accomplished my desire and achieved what I send it to do. For you shall go out in joy, you shall be led forth in peace before you. Mountains and hills shall break out in joyous song, and all the trees of the field shall clap their hands. Cypresses shall grow instead of thorn bushes, myrtle instead of briar. These shall be a monument to God, an everlasting sign that will stand firm. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Yotzor kol haolamim, Sadik b'kol hadarot b'chel, Baraman haomer v'oseh, Hamaver kayem, Shekol Divram emet v'tztek, all hatorah ve'al havodah ve'al chavishim ve'al yom hashabbat haseh shentachta lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha ve'lim nutach lakuvod ul tifaret all hakol Adonai Eloheinu chaneu modim lach v'kim otecha litvarach shimcha befi kol cha tamid la'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai makadesh hashabbat.
Amen. In the beginning of 7th grade, Josh and his classmates created a prayer that they would say for each other as they came to the Torah. So at this time, I ask members of Josh's class to rise and bless their classmate. Page 374. Please rise if you are able.
יהללו את שם אדוני, כי נשגב שמה לבדו, עלה לארץ ושמיים, וירם קרן לעמו, תהילה לכל חסידיו, לבני ישראל עם קרבו. Hallelujah,
v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, our God and God of our parents, grandparents, and ancestors, we thank you for this day and for the years of growth and learning that led to it. Now as Joshua becomes bar mitzvah, responsible for your commandments, we rejoice with him and with his family. Dear God, help us all to become worthy examples for our children. Let nothing separate us from them, and let nothing separate us from you, the source of all goodness and love. Help us, again and again, to renew our commitment to the covenant of Israel, to walk hand in hand with our children and with our parents in the ways of righteousness and truth. We pray that the memory of today's service will long inspire this young Jew. May it teach him that today is only the beginning of a life dedicated to study, to mitzvot, to deeds of justice and kindness and love. We ask your blessing upon Josh in the ancient words of our people. May the light of God's face shine on you, and may God be good to you. May God's face be lifted up on you. May God always watch over you, and may God bless you with peace. Please be seated.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It is so special to have so many friends and family here today to help me celebrate becoming a bar mitzvah. It means so much to me. What exactly is a bar mitzvah? One thing I have learned is that one does not simply have a bar mitzvah, one becomes a bar mitzvah. The term bar mitzvah actually means son of the commandment. It means I am becoming of age and entering into adulthood. I did not grow taller today, and I'm not about to get a full-time job. I am becoming a Jewish adult who is now obligated to follow the commandments. This not only means the 10 commandments that we all know, Jewish or not, but the commandments specified in various parts of the Torah. The commandments deal with things like marriage and other relationships, how to pray, crime and punishment, and how and what food we eat. Some of these are pretty outdated as they deal with sacrificing. Although there are 613 commandments, I'm only committing to follow a select few. Some of these commandments include the commandment which states not to disrespect your father or mother, and the commandment which says to celebrate the Jewish holidays and traditions. These are just a few of the commandments I follow and hope to be following in the future. It's customary that after one becomes a bar mitzvah, there is a special feast. This is perfect because I associate Jewish holidays with meeting up with family and eating food that we don't eat every day. Food is probably one of my favorite Jewish things to partake in. I love bagels, lox, brisket, gefilte fish, challah, and latkes. I'm basically a culinary Jew. A common quote from Jewish holidays is they tried to kill us, we survived, let's eat. What it means to be a Jew, for me, is to take part in traditions that our ancestors took part in, and not to be ashamed of being Jewish. In fact, the main thing that makes me feel Jewish is the holidays and ceremonial foods we eat. In the future, I hope to continue celebrating the Jewish holidays such as Passover and Rosh Hashanah, with friends and family and eating Jewish foods to stay Jewish. If I ever have kids, I will raise them Jewish and make sure they become bar bat mitzvah as well. These are just some of the traditions I'm going to follow and partake in. The one thing I would teach to everyone, that there is no such thing as a Jewish race. Anyone can become Jewish, and there are all sorts of races that are Jewish, including Black Jews, Indian Jews, Persian Jews, and even Arab Jews. My Torah portion is a Parashat Be'elech. Parashat Be'elech means "and he went." This portion talks about the events that took place on Moses' last day on earth. God speaks to Moses on his 120th birthday and tells him that he will no longer be the one to lead the Jewish people to Israel, the land of milk and honey. He is to transfer the leadership role to Joshua. God also tells him that the Jewish people, who Moses had wandered in the desert with for 40 years, will go astray from God and not follow the laws of the Torah. God finished writing the Torah in a scroll that he gives to the Levites for safekeeping in the Ark of Covenant. Moses tells the Israelites to read the Torah every 7 years on Sukkot. The Parashat Be'elech concludes that Jews will turn away from God at times, but the Torah will never be forgotten and will be kept in the hearts of future generations of Jews. Making it to Israel for Moses is basically like a Major League Baseball player making it to the World Series. Moses was told that after working hard for 40 years, leading the Israelites in the hot desert, he will not actually make it to Israel. He is too old and never actually made it all the way to Israel. In a way, this is similar to a Baseball Hall of Famer, Rod Carew. You may have heard his name in Adam Sandler's Hanukkah song like this: O.J. Simpson, not a Jew, but guess who is? Hall of Famer Rod Carew. Here is an interesting fact. Rod Carew never actually converted. He married a Jewish woman and raised their children Jewish. What a mensch. Carew played for the Minnesota Twins and then the California Angels, totaling 18 years in the majors. He made it on the All-Star team each year he played and made it to the Baseball Hall of Fame, much like Moses is in the Hall of Fame of Jews. Rod Carew never actually made it to the World Series, just as Moses never made it to Israel. He wasn't signed for a 19th season and was basically forced into retirement just like Moses. When Moses heard that he wasn't making it to the Promised Land after spending a third of his life leading a group of rebellious and greedy people, he most likely felt let down by God. If I was in Moses' shoes, this would affect me mentally and emotionally. I would question what I spent a good portion of my life doing and be emotionally upset and dumbfounded on why this is. I think the meaning of my portion is that putting in the work, you are not always rewarded the way you expected or at all. This happens in everyone's life, including mine. I offered to mow our lawn, and my dad said he would pay me $20 to do so. After finishing mowing, my arms and legs were very sore. My dad wasn't impressed with my work and only received $10. So if you aren't going to be rewarded for putting in the work, why do it? Well, one can feel accomplished after completing a hard task. And even if one doesn't get the reward that they were hoping for, they can still feel proud that they put in the effort and put in the work. I would like to thank friends and family, but most importantly, my parents for supporting me through my bar mitzvah journey and coming here today to watch me take part in reading from the Torah and becoming a bar mitzvah.
You done? You want to drink water?
No.
You good? Okay. My turn. Turn to me. Okay. Josh, congratulations. You did a really, really good job today. You worked hard at it. I know. And I've been thinking since the first time I heard what you were going to say about how to connect the Hall of Fame and Jewish life. And I realized there's something, when you said at the beginning that you don't have a bar mitzvah, you become one. I think here's what you become. You become a keeper of the Hall of Fame. Because here's a really weird thing I'm going to say to you. There's no such thing as Judaism. It's not a thing. It doesn't exist. The only thing we have are Jews. There is no Jewish Hall of Fame you can go to. In a sense, every synagogue, every Jewish community center, every Jewish institution is part of the Hall of Fame. Because if you come here, you're going to hear about the great heroes that we've had in the past. But there is absolutely nothing that just needs to exist. And in fact, if you think about this, if just one generation of Jews, one generation stopped, all of Judaism disappears forever. It's gone. It's not like you can go back to the building and do something. It won't be there. It's not like you can go visit where Judaism was. And it's really weird, but there is actually no such thing as Judaism. There's just Jews. And a lot of people say, well, my Judaism is the only Judaism. In fact, it's not true, because there's lots of different ways of being Jewish. But when you made the commitment and you said there are mitzvot that I'm going to follow, whichever they are, that's the statement of a bar mitzvah. That's the statement that Moses wanted from you, the big Hall of Fame guy. He said, I need to know that you're going to keep this going. Now, how you keep it going is up to you and only you. And no rabbi, no teacher, no parent can tell you what it's going to be. When I was bar mitzvah, the thing I knew most of all was that I was never setting foot in a temple after that day. That was my basic commitment, which is, here's what I'm going to do. I'm leaving and never coming back. That didn't work out exactly the way I intended, but I was not standing there at my bar mitzvah going, oh good, I can't wait to be a rabbi. You're not done with the learning unless you stop learning. You're not done with figuring out which mitzvot apply to you unless you say, I have no more interest in that. But you see, we have an interest in you. We, people here, every Jew now, and every Jew who ever lived has an interest in you. Because you and your classmates and the others all around the world doing this are the only ones who will guarantee that another generation will get to make these choices also. So what you're going to do with this now comes to you. You've looked at all 613 mitzvot in the past year. And some of them, I agree with you, they need to go away. Others are a challenge to us. And that's where you stand now. Torah now is yours. This whole thing is yours. And it's actually in your hands. And what Moses said to the Israelites at the end of his life was, I did my part. It's up to you. Some of you will do well, some of it won't go well. I pray that it keeps going. And so all of us today say now to you, this is in your hands. What will you make of it? From the foods you eat, to the way you think, to the way you study, and to the way you treat other people in the world, this now is in your hands. I wish you Mazal Tov, which actually means good luck. I wish you Hazak ve'ematz, may you be strong and of good faith. And I wish you Hatzlacha, success in your whole journey. Mazel tov. It's my honor to present you with your bar mitzvah certificate, which will remind you of what you studied and you learned. And on behalf of the Reform movement, it's also my pleasure to give you a gift certificate toward a trip to Israel when you're in high school. Only in high school, not the birthright one. Because there is so much more to learn about being Jewish, and some you can learn here, and some you can only learn in Israel. And we hope this gets you started on the next part of your journey. I give it to you with my congratulations to you, and Mazel Tov to your family. It's now my pleasure to introduce Heather Milioti, a member of our board of directors, to make a presentation on behalf of our congregation.
Shabbat Shalom. Mazel Tov, Joshua. Thank you for leading our congregation in prayer. Joshua, I have to tell you, I've never heard a sermon that brings in Adam Sandler and Rod Carew, and I loved it. I thought it was really a nice way to celebrate this special day. It is an honor for me to represent Temple Rodeph Torah and share your family's pride and joy as you become a bar mitzvah. You've worked very hard, and I congratulate you, and I congratulate your family on these accomplishments. To commemorate this special day, the Board of Directors would like to present you with a copy of text messages, a Torah commentary for teens, and from the Men's Club and Sisterhood, your very own Kiddush Cup. We hope these gifts will be used in the years to come as you continue the tradition of Jewish life and learning. I would like to congratulate Dara, Damon, and Drew. Mazel Tov to your family and friends who are here to celebrate with you today. Thank you to the Kirschenbaum-Perry family for sponsoring the Oneg in honor of this Simcha. Thank you to our congregants who served as ushers today. Shabbat Shalom. Enjoy the rest of your celebrations.
Josh, Mazel Tov. You did a really great job, and I know that you put in a lot of work in order to get to where we are today. So I want to thank you for that. In your Torah portion, Moses is speaking about, or Moses and God together are speaking about everything being transitioned to the next generation, to Joshua, who becomes the leader of the Jewish people. And we know that, as Rabbi spoke about, Judaism is the people who honor it, the people who remember it, the people who practice it, the people who are inspired by it, the people who struggle with it, the people who engage with it. And so I hope that as you go through your life and your engagement and your struggles and your questioning and your inspiration, that you will feel a little connection with God. With this song that I have for you is called Ruach Elohim, with the Spirit of God. That you'll be able to take that Spirit along with you, that it will be with you whether you are studying for something in school or attempting to become a Hall of Famer yourself, and that it will help to support you through those journeys, and that will also help to be there in a time that maybe you didn't have the success that you were hoping for, or the game didn't go quite as you wanted to, or the challenges in your life come about, that you'll be able to feel that God is there with you, that your connection to these things that we talked about, these things that we learned, and these things that we struggle with help you to be inspired and help you to support you in all of your times. So my prayer for you is Ruach Elohim, and it takes the same blessing that I did at the Ark, Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, that God will be with you, has this beautiful English that asks that God be with you in all of your times, doing all the things that you love to do. Ruach Elohim, may God's Spirit be with you. Ruach Elohim, keep you safe from harm. May the love of God be your shelter from every storm. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha, v'yasem lecha shalom. Ruach Elohim, may God bless you and keep you, bring you to the light and safe from harm. May the love of friends be your shelter from every storm. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha, v'yasem lecha shalom. Ruach Elohim, may God's Spirit be with you, bring you to the light and loving arms. Together we will be a shelter from every storm. Together we will be a shelter from every storm. Mazal Tov.
We continue on page 586 in the middle of the page. Please rise if you are able. There you go. Come on. Adonai hu ha'Elohim, b'shamayim mima'al, v'al ha'aretz mitachat, ein od. Page 591, please be seated.
ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Kaddish is on page 598. Those we remember this week, those who died recently, and those whose yahrzeits occurred this week are listed on the announcement sheet that you received when you entered. In addition, we remember those who, though they are not here physically, are very much part of this service and very much part of our celebration. We remember Leona and Melville Wolf, Morris and Doris Kirschenbaum, Karen Kurtz, Adam Gartland, Joan Richhart, Harry Richhart, Virginia and George Perry Sr., David Popek, Jesse Perry, Amber Cicerelli, Gary Seitzma. We thank God for the gift of their lives, and we praise God for the blessing of their memory. And so, in their memory, and in honor of God, their Creator, we rise together for Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach la'alam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shmei d'kudsha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata ta'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel and to all the world, to which we say,
Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
We turn now to Kiddush for Shabbat morning on page 604 as we thank God for all the blessings that we have in our lives. To join us, we invite Josh, Damon, Dara, and Drew, Carol and Sheldon Kirschenbaum, Deborah Perry, and Frank Perry Sr. This one come up in the middle here, Josh, you come right up.
V'shamra b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. על כן ברך אדוני את יום השבת ויקדשהו. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. לחיים.
Our concluding song, our concluding song is Ein Eloheinu on page 626. Following the benediction, we ask you all to remain at your seats just long enough for us to make our way out of the room. And then as you follow us out, we'd appreciate your bringing the Sidurim, the prayer books, returning them to the ushers at the door. You are all invited down to the other end of the building to join us for an Oneg Shabbat, and we do hope you'll spend a little time and hang out. If you're guests here, I will tell you that our brownies are amazing. You really want to try them. And we wish you not only a Shabbat Shalom this week, but also a Shana Tova. Page 626.
Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kemoshienu, Mich Eloheinu, Mich Adonenu, Mich Malkeinu, Mich Moshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu.
Dear God, we stand at the threshold of a new Jewish year. You have taught us that part of what happens in the year is beyond our control, but part of it rests in our own hands, that we are not powerless in the world, that we have the ability to choose, to decide, and to act. And so, please God, let all of us, not just our bar mitzvah, let all of us take this opportunity to decide how we want to act, to choose the world we want to live in. And please God, when we act that way, give us your help to give us a Shabbat Shalom and a good, good year. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Please follow us right out. in, like before the service, mine says Weber in huge white letters on it. And it's not here, and that was...
Did you, definitely not in there.
No, it's probably someone stuck in my office, because...
So is this one a stray also that needs to
A
be?
stray, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. See, I've got Charlie doing my laundry now, too.
Where do you want? Over here?
Just in the chair over there, yeah, anyway.